I decided to do my presentation on influence. A little background about myself. I currently work in the sales field, so this topic was important to me because it's something that I use regularly. Um, Not in the way that you think of when you think of salespeople. Um, I think it's important to remember when you're using influence that it has to be for the greater good. In my case, it would be making sure my customers are happy and it's something to I'm selling them something that's actually going to help their business grow. Um, Same for in the workplace. You need to make sure that you're using your influence for the greater good of the organization or your subordinates if you are a manager. I wanted to point out the Merriam Webster definition 3A. I think that pertains the most to us. It's the act or power of producing an effect without apparent exertion of force or direct exercise of a command. This slide, I received something similar to this at a training I went to a few months ago. And although it was for sales purposes, I think that it's also good for um, managers as well. It kind of can help, you know, you figure out what's going to be the best way to build that relationship and the trust with your employees because not everybody has the same personality. Um, some people are, drivers where they're really independent and they're more focused on, just short to the point, get the job done, and that's it. Analyticals are more data driven, logical. Um, they need facts. Usually it's going to take them a little bit longer to figure things out. Not so much figure things out, but make a decision. So just keep that in mind if you're dealing with somebody like that. Um, an amiable is somebody who is dependable and open, supportive. They're very into feelings. So you want to make sure that you keep that in mind as well. I myself fall into the expressive category, animated, forceful, impulsive, definitely. Um, Values approval and spontaneous, we'll say that. And so, how you appeal to each of these different personalities in order to build your relationship and gain the trust so you are able to influence um, each employee to get certain jobs done or for the growth of the organization is going to vary. How to become an influential leader. Um, so once you've established an employee's personality style, you need to build their trust. I put an example here to build trust with the driver. There's less focus on small talk. Instead, you could check in face to face regularly to discuss the current task. Again, they just kind of want to get the job done, but it's still important that you find a way to bond with somebody like that as well and build that sense of trust. And amiable might want to take the time, would want to take the time to build that personal working relationship. Again, they're kind of about feelings, so it's important to keep that in mind when you're talking to them. You don't want to be short. You want to make sure that you kind of give them that little extra bit of attention. Um, but also, it's important with all of this not to show favoritism towards a certain personality or a certain person in general. Both employees are equally as important, but each requires separate interactions to build a relationship. I just thought that was something to keep in mind. Um, to be an influential leader, you want to be personal, build relationships, find commonalities, and listen. It's important to make sure that your employees trust you. And so, whether it's, going to the driver and just asking about a project, or finding something in common that you can quickly say, how'd the Phillies do last night? Whatever it is, just, show them you're there and you care. And listen, if they have an issue or something that needs to be said, make sure you're there and you can listen to what they have to say. Be assertive and use confidence. Remain flexible. As a manager, you're going to be pulled in 100 different directions a day. I think it's important to remain flexible during this time, because you, as a manager, expect your employees to be flexible, and it's not fair to them if you have a meeting set or something and then you have to go somewhere else. It's keeping contact at least, so that way they know you're around. The one thing I hate with my old boss was I had one-on-one set, and it was supposed to be the same time every week, and it was like constantly changing. And how can you look like a leader if you're kind of like a flake? So that's my thoughts on that. Be assertive and use confidence. That's important when trying to get your point across, and make sure you're coming off as assertive but not arrogant, because arrogance is one of the worst things you can do. You also want to be present. That kind of goes back to the remaining flexible. You want to make sure you're there for your employees when they need you, um, whether it's in the building, through email. Just make yourself available and make sure that your employees know you're available and there to help them with their situation. Um, all of this is for nothing if it isn't genuine and it's for your own personal gain. Then it's just going to come off as manipulation and basically cause the opposite effect. So just be honest with yourself and how you're trying to accomplish your influence, because otherwise it's just not going to work. The advantage when you are successfully influential is you will be well respected and viewed as an expert in your field. You'll share the company's vision and culture and help the company run more effectively. I think that's the overall objective of being able to be an influential leader. Thank you.